Live, up and down the coast, from the beaches to the valleys, your news channel starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Christina Rodriguez, filling in for Tracy Lair. We begin with Oxnard police arrested a gang member yesterday during a traffic stop. It happened at the 500 block of East 3rd Street around 6 p.m. Police say the driver had 2 prior felony convictions. They found a loaded short-barreled rifle. The man was also driving with a suspended driver's license. No other information was given. The Board of Supervisors in San Luis Obispo County agreed to a settlement this week over district maps. At the County of Superior Court, petitioners challenged the legal matters surrounding district maps, adopted in December of 2021. They used the maps in the board's elections in 2022. The settlement will require the board to complete the district maps process by May 15th. They also have to pay petitioners $300,000 in legal fees. The county board is having a public hearing over the district maps April 18th. To state news, a historic agreement for support workers at the 2nd largest school district in the nation. And after a 3-day strike, union workers reached a tentative labor contract with the district. Lauren Pozen has the details of the contract.
After a 3-day strike, an agreement the mayor, the district, and the union call historic and transformative.
It was a sacrifice, 3 days without pay, and the teachers' sacrifice needs to mean something.
Fighting for justice! Fighting for justice! The union that represents the lowest paid workers in the nation's 2nd largest school district just won a landmark contract, arguing they say that support workers deserve a higher standard of living in one of the nation's most expensive places to live. Here's the breakdown of the tentative deal. A 30% wage increase, exactly what the union wanted. In addition, retroactive pay between $4,000 and $8,000 for many employees, and a $1,000 bonus for everyone who worked during the pandemic. The average annual salary goes from $25,000 to $33,000. Also, 7-hour shifts guaranteed each day for special education assistants. That's up from 6 hours. And fully paid health care benefits for workers and everyone in their family.
This is an agreement that's going to make a lot of superintendents very nervous. And that's a good thing. That is the good kind of trouble we need. Elevate the bar, and in the process, elevate the people.
For 3 years, it's been a contentious battle with the district and union to get to this point. On Wednesday, Mayor Karen Bass stepped in to mediate.
And the fact of the matter is, the majority of SEIU 99 workers don't just work in our schools, they are LAUSD parents as well. And today, for too many hardworking people, working full-time is just too hard to put a roof over their heads and put food on the table.
Union members will now vote on the agreement. And although a deal is on the table, the conversation about better working conditions for its members is just getting started.
Time now for our first look at weather. Sean Quinn is in the First Alert Weather Center.
Hi there, Christina. Yeah, beautiful day across the board, and the reason being storms. Such a busy year, but they're staying mainly to our north right now. So now we're dealing with more of a wind issue, and we can look at some of these wind speeds offshore, especially out in the Santa Barbara Channel. You can see up around 30 miles an hour, and just offshore of the Santa Barbara South Coast, 32 miles an hour. Onshore, just above Point Conception, and then down maybe the southern portion of Santa Barbara, you can see the varying wind speeds. That's a northerly flow. The storm systems to our north mean that we're getting more of a northerly flush, and that will be running through tonight and into tomorrow at least, maybe going into tomorrow afternoon, but probably tomorrow midday or so we should kind of back these winds off just a bit. So with that said, we do have a wind advisory. Much of our interior areas all the way down to the south coast, and then portions of Ventura County, and of course this going up into areas of the central coast, mainly inland, the mountains. And again, this will stay in speed. Let's see if I can get that to kind of go off and we get some data here. And there it is right there. there. Wind advisory will expire tomorrow morning. Again, pretty widespread. Some areas obviously are more prone to a north wind, especially below passes and canyons where you could see a 30 to maybe 45-mile-an-hour gust late tonight and into very early tomorrow morning. When I come back, we'll talk more about what to expect. Another storm is knocking on the door. Details on that in just a few moments. Christina?
Thank you. An inclusion awareness event was held at Chase Palm Park in Santa Barbara for National Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. There was food and other resource booths set up at the park, and Chris Benedict, DJ of Ability, provided music for the event.
We're conducting a fundraiser. It's an event that's accessible to all individuals to come and walk and roll. We're raising awareness about inclusion and accessibility and making sure that our community is accessible for everyone.
Organizers of the event say their goal is to help individuals live the lives they want. Proceeds will support the organization in providing people with disabilities inclusive opportunities through Santa Barbara County, such as health and wellness activities, accessible transportation, and competitive integrated employment. The Santa Barbara County Fire Safe Council hosted a free one-day home hardening and defensible space workshop today.
Okay. Did I get it? I'm sure I did.
Yes, you did.
Yay.
The workshop will showcase how to protect their homes from wildfires and how to properly use a fire extinguisher. People also will learn about the future of wildfire insurance. Wildfire specialist for the Montecito Fire Department explains why this workshop is important for the community.
The more skills and the more prepared the community and community members are individually, the higher likelihood that they'll be able to take care of an issue that they have, and even before the first responders are able to arrive.
The workshop will be available online for those who were unable to attend. Still ahead, severe weather has left California, but it is now hitting other parts of the country. That's still ahead on your news channel.
And we'll be using the Futurecast a couple of times tonight, both for some wind and then look at this, early next week, going toward the middle of the week, more rain is on the way. Stay tuned, your forecast is minutes away.
Westmont College launched its first ever Montecito Student Film Festival today. News Channel reporter Mina Wahab spoke to the film students about their passion for storytelling.
We can see what the future of filmmaking is going to look like.
Cinephiles gathered together at Westmont College's Porter Theater to watch the short films made by California college students.
We have such a wide variety of documentaries and narrative dramas and animation.
This senior Westmont student has been working with her peers to get this off the ground since last fall.
We're all passionate about seeing students get their films represented in front of audiences and seeing it on a big screen, giving them a confidence boost to continue to make stories that they want told.
A jury of industry professionals and special guests judged close to 20 films throughout the day. This provided an important opportunity for up-and-coming student filmmakers to learn from their more established predecessors.
Watching your own film be screened and watching somebody appreciate it for what it is, even if it doesn't have $100 million explosions or Oscar-winning actors in it, is just really important for a filmmaker's psyche.
This Westmont student shared why this festival is so important.
Film reflects life and the messiness and the chaos and the beauty of it. By reflecting that, we can gain new insights and relate to each other better by understanding each other's stories.
The students hope that this festival will be the start of an annual tradition for years to come. In Montecito, I'm News Channel reporter Mina Wahab.
At least 25 people have been killed and dozens more injured as powerful storms and tornadoes made their way across Mississippi. The governor declaring a state of emergency for the areas impacted. Phil Lipoff has the story.
Western Mississippi hit with massive and violent tornado strikes. The towns of Silver City and Rolling Fork devastated.
This ain't good. We're in it. We are in the tornado right now.
Wesley Jackson took this video as he drove through the tornado, then captured some of the devastation left in its wake. The tornado's deadly path stretching over 90 miles. Storm chaser Edgar O'Neill was in Rolling Fork.
We saw, complete and utter devastation. houses gone, gas stations destroyed, trees, power lines blocking entrances everywhere, stray animals, people wandering the street clearly in shock. This was one of the worst we've seen.
First responders searching through the debris looking for any survivors who may still be trapped. In central Mississippi, the storm tearing off roofs as residents ran for cover.
We had to get ourselves into the middle part of the house, and we did. We got in there, and obviously it was coming right behind us because as soon as we got in there, we heard a big boom.
Damage from the storm stretching all the way to the eastern part of the state.
We took a direct hit to the north side of town. We got major damage.
Trees down, homes destroyed. Mississippi Governor Tate Reeves has issued a state of emergency in all the counties affected by the severe storms. President Biden releasing a statement saying he and the First Lady are praying for those impacted by these deadly storms and assuring residents, writing, "We will do everything we can to help. We will be there as long as it takes." The president says FEMA has deployed emergency resources to support recovery efforts in the affected areas. Phil Lipoff, New York.
Time now to turn to Sean Quinn with your first alert forecast. Sean, you have more on this,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. This is a time of year we're just now entering our severe weather season. The maps do the talking. It's right there. Excuse me. Look at the temperature difference between, say, Oklahoma City, Denver, Albuquerque. You're looking at 20, 30 degrees, even more, and that really is the key. And wherever that sort of migrates back and forth across the country, you can get severe weather. And, of course, cloud cover, though, is really not that bad as we speak right now, and we kind of head off into the middle of the country. It looks fairly quiet, but they are expecting another possible round of severe weather in the exact same area tonight. So again, clear for now, but the ingredients are still in play that we might see more of this later on tonight and into tomorrow. Keeping an eye on the wind for us, otherwise it's absolutely beautiful. We had some sunshine today, northerly wind, meaning that we have the advisory. This will stay in play again tonight and into tomorrow morning. Should drop off about 9 a.m. for Ventura County. And again, north winds mean that some of the passes and canyons that are really susceptible to that could definitely get into that. Now, as far as cold temperatures, went ahead and showed you just to our north, Monterey County is dealing with some frost issues. We are not yet, and that could change as we head overnight. So we're expecting kind of a cold night out there. The north wind might actually be a little ace in the hole to keep us from going into those cold temperatures. That might act as a slight warming agent. Today's temperatures, beautiful. Look at that, a 70 in Santa Barbara with the north wind. Everybody else, high 50s to maybe low 60s. So really just absolutely sun-splashed and gorgeous, although a little chilly in some areas. Right now, back into the 50s, 60 in Oxnard. You're about one of the warm spots. There are the winds, wind gusts. Not too bad yet, although they are picking up north of Point Conception, so would expect that the Santa Barbara South Coast gets knocked around a little bit over the next several hours. Humidity values a bit on the low side. We've been so wet this year. These are actually very low numbers, and that's because of the north wind. Not bone dry, but definitely drier than what we've seen so far this year. And I'll get out of the way, and you can see more storms are pushing into the west coast. So heavy rain and snow well to our north. And then we look, for us, we see mostly wind, but then upstream, there is more activity that will start to knock on our door as far as more rain once we get to about the middle of, well, about Tuesday going into early Wednesday for most areas. So showers stay to our north. We deal with the wind as this system is focused more north. Then we have to watch as we head toward the middle of the week. Snow levels will drop again, maybe 1 to 2 inches, although some of our computer models now are backing off on rain totals from Tuesday to Wednesday and actually putting the bulk of rain farther to our south, if you can believe that, more into Southern California. So we're always watching those weather models because they do tend to evolve. There's the future track, north flow. Then it starts to get a little cloudy on Monday. By Tuesday, we see the rain chances, and it kind of blows through really quick. So we don't expect a whole lot of rain out of this, and nothing too heavy. So right now, watches and advisories are really not in play. Now we'll look at the future track as far as any real numbers, and they'll bounce up once we get through Monday and into Tuesday. Here comes the rain. And the numbers again, computer was a bit more bullish earlier. Now it's back down to about 0.2 of an inch, even less, and possibly up to 0.5 inch. And again, weather computer models, we have to watch them pretty hard all the time because they will tend to change. Here and there. 50s tomorrow, some 60s along the south coast, as that north flow will likely keep you as one of the warm spots. Overnights get into the 30s and even some low 30s, so no real frost threats, but there is a slight chance that you might get below freezing here and there. And then on Monday, another nice day out there, mainly upper 50s to mid 60s. And now we'll go ahead, of course, and look at the wind real quick. Blows all night tonight and into tomorrow. Then it stays breezy, and it backs off once we get into the afternoon hours. So south coast, we'll go into the mid 60s, maybe some upper 60s. Again, watching the north wind through the morning. Officially, that's when the advisories will drop off. 50s though, and only very low 60s north and west of Point Conception up through San Luis Obispo County. Paso Robles, you might get down into the low 30s by the morning hours and then bounce back close to 60 by the afternoon. 37 to start your day in Ojai, 63 to end it. And surf, we are expecting to pick up some waves out of the northwest, mainly wind swell, so it will be a little messy, and there is a high surf advisory north and west of Point Conception for west-facing beaches. And there's your Santa Barbara forecast. We'll go ahead with showers and cool temperatures by Tuesday. Wednesday, they'll linger. Might even get a chance for some severe weather, so we'll have to keep an eye on that with some thunder possibilities on Wednesday. We'll dry out on Thursday. Then as we eyeball, believe it or not, the beginning of April, that will be next weekend. It looks like we'll be back to the sunshine, but it will stay on the cool side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
A referee in the NBA went on for a joyride Friday night.
Moments you go, you know what, this isn't basketball. This is an entertainment business. And then you see a referee driving a four-wheeler.
NBA referee James Williams rode his ATV between breaks in the quarters. During the Bucks versus Jazz game, they say he also gave the Jazz mascot a ride on the four-wheeler. Let's.
Okay. I got lots of questions. Why? It looked like something you get from Toys R Us too, by the way. It wasn't like, I don't think it's a legit ATC, but
it looked
or ATV. You know, whatever makes them happy. All right, let's go ahead and look at our weather. Of course.